where nothing would burn, and drop it all in there. And then in 1990, well, you can't make a 3,000-mile trip with a coal group. It just doesn't work very well. So in 1990, we went out to North Platte and got the oil bunker and the firing valves from the only other Challenger in existence. Theirs is in a park, and so we got that stuff covered over the top of the tender with steel sheeting and brought the stuff back and installed it in the Challenger. So she's been an oil burner since 1990 and does very well. It's, you know, it's not a problem. The railroad owned lots of coal mines and they had access to oil. So they would routinely change things back and forth depending on what fuel was the cheapest. And, but for the long distance stuff we use, that we do, coal doesn't work for us. And it's so dry in Wyoming. The last couple of trips we made to Laramie, the maintenance away guys had to follow me with brooms and put out little fires. So it just wasn't working anymore. But the oil we use is recycled, so that's a good thing. Originally, they burned a number 5 oil, which was one step away from asphalt. And real thick. But it's got to be able to burn. And the stuff we're using now, real thick, because our fuel supplier built a plant out near Spear in the new industrial complex. And I went out there and they've got probably 10 big black tanks. And I said, well, the steam engine doesn't use that much.
Lots of water.
But they're using the same type of oil to make asphalt. And that's what their primary job is. And so, you know, we have it delivered in trucks. When the train came back on Tuesday, the tanker was here, filled up the 844, and we carry a certain amount of water with the Challenger. We take along 2 auxiliary water cars. With the 844, just one, which covers us for about a day's travel, about 300 miles. Most of our water comes from fire hydrants, and very little of it is on railroad property, so we buy it all.
Buy it all.
You bet. And but
How long does it take to fill up?
depending on how empty you are, it's usually hours.
Hours, yeah.
And so, you know, that's just part of the cost of doing business. You can't expect a town to give you 25,000 gallons of water either. So, they have the water tanks. We still have one at Spear. It doesn't function, but it's still there. But they have the water spouts, and they could fill up pretty quickly. And now in Ogden, we go to Ogden quite frequently, park next to the depot, and they reinstalled the water spout, which was really nice of them because we don't really, we don't really have access to one very much. But all the fuel deliveries, all the water stops, everything is all very carefully orchestrated before you leave. Because you can't travel with these things and just pull in anywhere. It doesn't work.
Really? You don't pull into McDonald's and
No. And the trips are so high profile. The last thing that you want is not to be able to keep up your schedule. So everything is, you know, where you're going to be, what day, what time, where the fuel truck's going to be. And there were a couple of kids from another steam crew up in the cab. We got them out first, and all of the pressurized steam and boiling water just went down on the tracks. Filled the cab up, of course, but he got some very minor burns on his arms. But as far as blowing up, it had to be a lot more than a couple of
They got a lot of
days.
safety.
They do. And that's what all the stay bolts they'll release pressure. And if you see a steam locomotive going down the tracks and there's steam coming from someplace it shouldn't be, it means you've probably got a broken stable. And
That's not the end of the work. You can still operate. You can still
Uh-huh. Because there are almost 3,000 of them. But after you get a certain, and you cap them, but after you get a certain number within a square foot, then you have to go in, take out the fire brick, replace the stables, put the brick back. So there are actually lots of safety things involved. So as far as something blowing up, I've seen pictures of it, but at this time, you know, anyone running them, they're pretty carefully watched, which is a good thing.
How many engineers are left in the world that know how to run this?
Well, anybody can learn.
Really?
Oh, no.
No.
But anybody can learn.
I'm not sure I'm anybody.
My husband was a special agent on the Rock Island, came to Cheyenne, went in train service. He was one of the volunteers who helped restore the Challenger, employee volunteers. And he started learning to fire in about 1979. And after he fired for about 4 years, then he started breaking in as an engineer. But you've got to be an engineer, you've got to have a federal and railroad license for diesel locomotives. Then you qualify on steam. But he always told me that being a fireman was a lot tougher than being an engineer. But you have to know how to do both jobs, because those guys really work together very carefully. But no, you can learn, but you're not going to get up there and do it overnight, because it just doesn't work.
So there's probably quite a few engineers in the States.
Yep. Now, like I say, you have to be licensed and qualified. So if you don't have a license, you better not be up there running. And, but, you know, you can learn it just like any. Although my husband said there are some people who can learn to fire and others, no matter how long they do it, they're not as good at it.
Lights out, steam shot.
Just don't take to it quite as well. That's it. But, yeah, that's right. But he loved it, and so. But they have personalities. The guys don't, well, they'll wear hearing protection, earplugs, but you're always listening because they have different sounds that they make. And if it's making a sound, just like your car, you're used to it. If it's making a sound it shouldn't be, you better be checking something. And fortunately, we have a crew of really crackerjack mechanics. We've got a new machinist who has a master's degree in engineering, and he's about 30. So there are young people coming in, and again, you have to have natural aptitude and then just train and train and train. And that's how it works. But for the spot in the track where nothing would burn and drop it all in there. And then in 1990, well, you can't make a 3,000-mile trip with a cold earth. It just doesn't work very well. So in 1990, we went out to North Platte and got the oil bunker and the firing valves from the only other Challenger in existence. Theirs is in a park. And so we got that stuff covered over the top of the tender with steel sheeting and brought the stuff back and installed it in the Challenger. So she's been an oil burner since 1990 and does very well. It's, you know, it's not a problem. The railroad owned lots of coal mines and they had access to oil. So they would routinely change things back and forth depending on what fuel was the cheapest. And so, you know, we have it delivered in trucks. When the train came back on Tuesday, the tanker was here, filled up the 844, and straight in before you leave. because you can't travel with these things and just pull in anywhere. It doesn't work. So everything is, you know, where you're going to be, what day, what time, where the fuel truck's going to be. And there were a couple of kids from another steam crew up in the cab. We got them out first. And as far as blowing up, it had to be a lot more than a couple of
They got a lot of
kids.
safety.
They do. Guys have closed it. Well, both steam locomotives and
Okay.
the rotary plow is over there. Well, what time do they open?
We definitely want to catch the bus. That's a long hike back. Drop by the souvenir car and spend your money right here. She's got everything you need, fans. It's all available. Online or in person. upsteam.com, right?
There's another shuttle coming in 20 minutes or something.
Okay.
That's what they said.
No problem.
So don't lose track of those other folks.